Hi, I'm Candace.
And I'm Ripley.
And I'm John.
And this is Comicsplaining.
The one where it's episode 69.
Nice.
The sex number.
Ha ha ha.
I wish we could have done something more for it, but, you know.
Just wait until we hit episode 420.
I know. Man, they really don't make funny numbers like they used to, huh?
No.
We have the sex number and the weed number. There's no other funny numbers.
We need more.
Well, it's the Homestuck number, but that's not funny.
I mean, it's a little
There's
funny.
2 Homestuck numbers.
There's 3 Homestuck numbers, quite
It's true.
technically.
This is now a Homestuck podcast.
I don't see us getting to 1,000 episodes, do you?
This is now a Homestuck podcast. It's only Homestuck.
We're gonna have 413 and 420 in very quick succession.
Yeah.
Won't that be embarrassing?
I mean, hey, there are some other fun numbers, like 616.
That's true.
That's
if we
true.
ever get there.
I could say 5-4, but that would be making May the 4th be with you. Really, it'd be really stretching it.
Mm.
How many barrels were on the gun of on the gun that Shinzo Abe got fucking murked with?
9. We're way past episode 9.
Yeah, we can't utilize that one.
And I think some people might not be as happy about
I don't
that.
give a shit.
Okay, but a 9-barrel gun is just funny no matter what. Like, what the
Hilarious.
fuck, this gun straight out of fucking Doom?
That's a gun
This
that
man- this-
Cable would have.
This man
Right.
did make his own gun.
He did.
He did. A homemade gun to assassinate a prime minister.
Japanese
Former prime
politics.
Well, hey, he might not have been. He was running for office again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's a former
he
prime minister now.
he is that.
Japanese politics aside, I just think a gun straight out of Doom is fucking hilarious.
So now we are a Homestuck and Japanese politics podcast.
All 3 of us white people from America.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's why
So-
we've got the Homestuck covered.
That's true. So anyway, we're not going to talk about that anymore. Can you guys tell me what happened last time with Thor?
No.
That was the review episode.
Yeah. Oh, right. There was a review, and then Don was like, hey, Odin, what the fuck am I?
Yeah.
And then Odin was like, oh, yeah, I'm, you're Thor.
Let me tell you a bedtime story. One time you were a very naughty boy, and so I sent you down to Earth as a full-grown man starting college, and you decided that, hey, I'll go to medical school. That sounds right. And so you did that, and then eventually you found the cave and became Thor.
Again.
Ta-da! And then something happened at the end, but I don't remember.
No, that was pretty much it. So, given all that, you see now exactly what I mean when I say that Thor has a PhD.
Yes.
Thor has gone to med school.
Thor is a medical doctor.
Hey, wait. Hey, wait. So, when Jane has cancer, Thor.
I'm sorry, you expect Jason Aaron to remember that Thor is a medical doctor?
Both of these people are medical doctors!
Yes!
Oh, you had to call in.
I'm not
Dr.
going to rely
Strange.
on science!
You had to call in Dr. Strange to do medicine things.
No,
when-
the problem was that Jane only wanted to rely on science. She could have used
That's
Asgardian
right.
shit.
That's why.
or
See, I said
Dr.
science,
Strange.
but I immediately was considering Asgardian shit as science.
Okay, but they bring in Doctor Strange, and he's not allowed to use his magic either.
Well, he's also a doctor, though.
Yes, and that's what he's there for, only doing human doctor things.
Well, that's all she wanted him to do.
This is so stupid.
I know.
Anyway, so you might notice that we don't have an issue of Thor in front of us.
What? We're not covering Tales to Astonish, the Incredible
Well-
Hulk, and the Submariner? I thought we were.
That would be because, as stated before, we are no longer a podcast that covers anything other than the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, this is a Hulk-only podcast.
If our favorites show up, that would be really great, but until then, Hulk. Also, Namor's here.
A Hulk all the time. We're not going to read the Namor story. So, the issue that we're looking at first is Tales to Astonish, number 101, from January of 1968. Very sad we couldn't make it to 1969 in time for this episode, but you do what you
we
can.
should have gone to decibels.
I know.
Not decibels. Decimals.
Decibels, yes. We should have gone to decibels.
This issue was written by Stan Lee. I'm sure you're shocked. Penciled by Marie Severin, inked by Frank Giacoia, and lettered by Sam Rosen.
Marie Severin is also the sister of another comics professional, John Severin.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I remember Marie Severin is her horny on main Eric the Red drawing.
Yeah.
I don't have better facts because I forgot to look.
Okay.
Alright, let's get into it.
Where walk the immortals.
Previously on The Incredible Hulk.
We
But
begin...
this is more previously than the previously that we were at previously.
Because while we are a Hulk podcast, we are reading him out of order.
We're a non-chronological Hulk podcast.
We begin with Bruce Banner awakening on a dark shore, apparently having just fought the Submariner in the previous issue. Despite being the strongest there is, it seems that it took all of Hulk's energy just to reach a draw with the King of Atlantis, and now, exhausted to his core, Bruce is ready to just curl up and sleep it off.
I mean, it doesn't help that he decided to fight the Submariner by the water, because, the Submariner is stronger when he's wet. If you can dehydrate him, you can actually beat him.
Yeah.
So he's the wettest there is.
He sure is, pal.
Unfortunately for Bruce, this is not to be, as suddenly a mysterious and mystic figure reaches out to him from across the stars. The unnamed magical assailant seizes Bruce and forces the change upon him, once more awakening the Incredible Hulk.
Rude.
I'm appreciating Marie Severin's background art here on this. That's cool.
It's beautiful. I'm sure we'll be surprised, based on the incredibly vague outline, that this is none other than our very own God of Mischief, working their magic on the Hulk through a mystic viewing crystal. Apparently, while scouring the Earth in search of Thor, which one would think at this point they would have a way to find him easier than just hitting Asgardian Google Earth and clicking around for a while. Like, I don't know, maybe they use that aura of free-flowing electrons that all Asgardians have.
I don't know, maybe you just get him chipped with something.
Right.
Or at the very least, you can narrow it down to the city where he lives and works.
What? That's too easy.
Where could he be? I mean, we haven't seen him go on a mission overseas in ages, so,
Right.
assumedly he's in New York.
He hasn't tried to solve the Vietnam War in a while.
But anyway, while looking for Thor, Loki happened to spy Banner washed up on this desert island and decided that they couldn't not fuck with him.
He immediately recognized Bruce like that?
Yeah,
Just some dude in purple pants chilling on the beach?
he knows what he's about. From Loki's speech bubble, we learn that apparently Thor is already facing some kind of trouble that they concocted. It's not explained further, so I'm not sure what they're referring to, but when it comes to Loki tormenting their brother, it's all same shit, different day.
Alright, but why are you looking for Thor if you already know Thor's dealing with some problems you're causing?
A salient question. Loki was growing concerned that Odin would find out what's going on with his favorite son and intervene, so finding Bruce like this is just what they needed.
Ah, more distractions.
Yes. They yoink the Green Giant over to the boyfriend. Yes?
This is excellent.
They yoink the Green Giant over to the Bifrost and let him loose, hoping that the resulting chaos will keep Odin occupied.
Chaos.
I love this plan. See, this is perfect. When I hear Trickster God, this is what I'm talking about.
Let's bring a Hulk to Asgard and see what happens.
Let's let several hundred chickens loose on the feast.
Heimdall is very surprised to see the Hulk here so suddenly, and because he takes his job very seriously, he immediately attacks the Hulk with his Heimdall beams.
That's a mistake.
He has Heimdall beams? When did that happen?
So he
Every other time he's been getting chumped, he had Heimdall beams the whole time.
So he identifies this as his saber of sorcery. I don't know why he has that. But regardless, it isn't having much of an effect.
Okay, the hymnal beams come out of the sword. Okay.
Yes. Hulk is just as confused as Heimdall about how he got here. And now this mean guy with horns is shooting beams at him, so suffice to say he is not happy with this turn of events.
Gonna have to
Holy
smash.
shit.
Heimdall is perplexed by the lack of reaction to his magic sword and loudly announces that though he can hear and see anything in the universe, he has never seen so mighty a mortal. The bad news for him is that this tips off the Hulk to a possible weakness, because if Heimdall can hear hummingbirds' wings or a leaf falling off a tree, then his ears must be extremely sensitive.
Ah.
Hulk utilizes this information by performing his patented ground pound attack on the Bifrost. A little bit of inside baseball. Patented ground pound attack is something that Ripley's been saying for weeks for no fucking reason.
Oh, God.
Just around the house about everything. So anyway, that's in my lexicon now.
Oh, no.
So he ground pounds the Bifrost, which creates a noise so loud that it seems to physically throw Heimdall back and off the bridge into the cold void of space.
For the first time in ages, invincible Heimdall hath suddenly been overcome.
I understand it's the sound, but by the fact that he's falling off, I thought he just kind of hit the Bifrost and made it go whoop,
Okay, but that's not sudden.
snap him off it.
It's not the first time in ages. Didn't Mangog body you? I'm pretty sure Mangog bodied Asgard.
Several other people have completely dwarfed fucking
Yeah.
Heimdall too.
Heimdall is very much a wharf. So anyway, bye Heimdall. Just kidding, he's still holding on.
God damn it.
Though all he can do is watch as the Hulk passes the gates of Asgard in one mighty leap. Loki watches this with a maniacal grin and says, yes, yes, all according to Keikaku.
Translator's note, Keikaku means plan.
Odin is sitting on his throne and brooding.
In a new hat?
Yeah, obviously. Hulk arrives on the outskirts of the city and pauses to take in the sights.
I really like Murray Severin, actually. I like the way the fabric drapes. I
Mhm.
like the way Odin's posture is. I like Loki.
In the two tones.
Yeah.
There's a light source, I'm not exactly sure where from, but it looks neat.
It's from off on the yellow side, I think.
The yellow side, yes.
Yes.
That natural side of things.
Yes.
Well, Hulk is surveying the city, but while his back is turned, a new enemy approaches and offers a challenge. It's Hogan the Grim, who was apparently out on an afternoon ride with his buds when he happened to spy the intruder. He's prepared to do what he must to get the Hulk the fuck out of here, but before they can fight, he tosses Greenie an axe, as he refuses to fight an unarmed foe.
What does Hulk want with a weapon?
Hulk doesn't much care for this, since he is strong as there is, and doesn't need any puny axe. Rather than catching the weapon, he brings his hands together in a mighty clap that instantly crumbles it to pieces.
That's fucking wild.
Hogan's horse rears back from the force of the thunderous noise, bucking him off, while nearby Fandral and Volstagg take note of the situation.
Again, still really loving this art here on Fandral.
Not one to take this insult sitting down, Hogan leapt toward the Hulk, apparently having decided if he won't arm himself, then it's gonna be a bare-knuckle brawl.
That's one way to do it.
The two of them go flying off the cliff into the city proper, crashing into a statue, and then a paved courtyard of some kind.
How canst thou survive? I'm the Hulk. I can do anything.
Fandral stops to pick up Hogan's hat that was lost amid the tussle, before declaring that finally they have found a foe worthy to face all three of them at once.
Finally, I can find out what Hogan's hair looks like underneath the helmet.
I think you're gonna be pleased with it.
Okay.
Nearby, Loki sits atop a wall and cackles gleefully.
This is perfect.
All according to Keikaku.
Eager to join the fray, Fandral and Volstagg race down toward them with swords drawn, and apparently a bunch of other dudes come to see what's up too.
Okay, excellent.
Hogan attempts to claim the ancient right of dibs, but he's too late as Hulk simply bats the charging horses away.
just picks up the horse.
The warriors watch with awe as the green meanie tosses Volstagg ass over tea kettle, remarking on his strength and courage, and what a pity it is that he himself is not an Asgardian.
He didn't throw the horse, though.
No, he threw the man on the horse.
Hulk likes animals.
Animals
does.
are good.
Volstagg falls into some kind of hole, and he's like, "Hold me back, guys! Hold me back!"
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're gonna stay in that hole, my dude.
Hulk calls for a timeout because he doesn't really want to fight these guys. He still has no idea where he is or how he even got here. He says all this aloud, which gives the Asgardians a collective moment of pause. Fandral declares that there is no evil in this green behemoth, and he must have been bewitched in some way. The Warriors 3 have done battle with the Hulk and have now decided he's a bro.
Yeah.
In that way that Asgardians do.
Well, yeah, he fought them. They fought each other. It was a good fight. We're friends.
Exactly. Unfortunately, they decide this a little late, as the rest of the city is now arriving to repel the invader.
God damn it.
Fandral tries to tell them to chill, but his shout can't be heard over the battle cries of his fellow warriors. Thus do all three of them decide that they will have to bodily defend their new best bud, the Hulk. They block the charging warriors and attempt to communicate that the strong green man is not an enemy. Did you see Fandral's hair, or Hogan's hair, by the way?
I did.
He has a ponytail.
I noticed. I did see. That's why I said excellent. I was pleased.
A voice from behind calls out a rebuke, claiming that the Warriors 3 are in league with this monster. Enter Loki, stage right, none too happy that their Keikaku has fallen apart. Then we get this great exchange where Loki says, "The monster must be slain, only a coward or a traitor would fail to do so. So which are you, Hogan?" And Hogan is like, "You're lucky I'm not allowed to hit your mouthy ass." I might be paraphrasing that slightly, but whatever.
Why would people be willing to listen to Loki over Hogan? Anyway, because Loki is the god of lies.
I know. Then we have a weird panel that shows Hogan walking away, framed by Loki's feet.
Said Hulk walking away music, appropriate in this case.
And the thought bubbles are clearly meant to be Loki, but they're pointed at Hogan, so something went wrong there. Anyway, they realize that the Warriors 3 won't be convinced, but in failure, they become more deadly than ever. Having calmed the crowd, our boys mount up again and decide to take their new pal to an oracle to figure out what's going on with him. To get there, they have to jump over this chasm, which seems poorly placed, but who am I to tell Odin where to put his chasms?
I don't know. He needs some sort of chasm organization to maintain
That
chasms.
would ruin the point of the chasm.
Yeah.
I guess.
Fandral offers to let Hulk ride doubles on his horse.
Oh my god, I don't think that would work.
I don't think it
Hulk
would
would
either.
break
I don't
the
think
horse.
Hulk could even ride a
Luckily-
single horse.
No, luckily for the horse, Hulk declines, saying that he can easily leap the crevice himself.
No, he says Hulk's own legs can jump over anything.
That, yes.
That's a little bit more than his legs are good enough.
Also, like, to be fair, these are beefy Asgardian horses that are able to carry Asgardians, so maybe he could.
That's true, Asgardians weigh several hundreds of pounds.
I would
Yes.
enjoy seeing an Asgardian horse carry Hulk.
He does so, but halfway across, Loki lashes out as vengeance for ruining their plan, turning the Green Giant back into the frail Dr. Banner.
A thing he can definitely do.
Well, he turned him into the Hulk earlier,
I know.
so why not?
Why
a
not?
thing he's known for being able to do.
Yes, as we can see. Bruce tumbles headlong into the chasm, now powerless and mortal in a strange world. The note here says that after this Hulk finally gets his own title, so we're gonna move along to that. Alright, so let's move on to Incredible Hulk, number 102. From January of 1968. Wasn't the last one from January?
I don't remember.
I think it was. So that might be incorrect. But anyway.
Yes, because they're so well known for getting their release numbers correct.
I guess the cover isn't very interesting.
It also says April.
Well, that's the
That's
date
wrong.
that they take it off of the rack.
Yeah.
So this issue was written by Gary Friedrich.
Wait.
We've run into him
Wait,
before.
hold on. That's how those numbers work?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I never knew that.
Written by Gary Friedrich, penciled by Marie Severin, inked by George Tuska, and lettered by Artie Simek.
Oh, Artie, you're going to be around for a while, aren't you?
Good.
The first page gives us a quick and dirty recap of where we left our green friend, depowered by a malicious Loki and tumbling into ye olde Asgardian crevasse.
No one can save me now. In this strange world beyond all understanding, I'm falling to my death.
As Bruce falls headfirst toward his imminent demise, he sees his entire life flash before his eyes. He is filled with regret for all the pain he has caused his loved ones, and for the fact that he will now never get to make it up to them. Unbeknownst to him, the Enchantress and the Executioner are standing on a ledge below him, tracking his descent.
I thought they were stuck on Earth. No?
Stuff has happened between then and now.
Okay.
We're not covering everything that's going on with them. Stuff has been happening.
Oh, no,
Gotcha.
We're going to touch on in a minute.
This is an Enchantress and Executioner podcast now?
The Enchantress identifies him as a strange mortal, to which the Executioner says, "Ah, how fortunate for him to fall down the hole that leads to Earth, then."
What?
There's a hole that leads to Earth. Okay, that's news.
Then Amora says something truly baffling. She reaches out with her magic toward Bruce, declaring that he can't die because he might have news about Hercules, who she is apparently now in a relationship with.
What?
So things have been happening.
Oh.
I don't know when this happened or why, but Amora gets around,
Well,
so I guess I'm not shocked.
So does Hercules.
Exactly. But I'm also wondering why she would think this random guy knows anything about that.
Because
Because
obviously...
he's weird.
Because everyone knows Hercules.
He's from Earth, so therefore he knows Hercules.
He's from Earth and he's weird.
Yeah.
Hercules is weird, so like, hey, maybe they've run into one another.
It feels a little contrived to me, but whatever. Scourge is like, dude, we're in the middle of an evil plan to take over Asgard. Can you please focus? But Amora doesn't listen and lifts Bruce back up to them anyway.
Wait, they're in the middle of an evil plan. Loki's in the middle of an evil plan.
These two things could be related.
Hopefully. Otherwise, that's a lot of evil plans.
Up above, the Warriors 3 are perplexed, to say the least. One minute they're starting on a road trip with their new friend, the next he's falling to his death in our hole that leads to space. Like, what do you even do in that situation?
Guys, maybe don't have a hole there?
A hole that leads to space? Yeah. Having watched his fall and long since lost sight of him, Volstagg declares the Hulk dead. Hogan agrees, but Fandral says the road trip is still on. They have to go see the Oracle to find out how their late and great buddy got here, as well as how he got all those sick gains.
I love Vandral.
So they each pour out some mead and then get back on the road.
Well, hey, I mean, they could find out how he got those muscles. I just don't know if gamma rays will affect Asgardians the same way.
I don't know. After an hour of hard riding, the three travelers arrive at a dense forest with a gong in it for some reason. Apparently, when you hit this gong, it summons Oldar, the Oracle. Hogan dares Volstagg to go into the creepy forest, and they all spend a few minutes teasing each other before Volstagg marches up to the gong and gives it a mighty ring. An explosive wave of sound emanates from the gong, knocking Volstagg back before coalescing into a physical form. Oldar the Oracle appears.
Oldar.
And apparently speaks in rhyme.
Oh no.
Which is super cool and fun.
If you're the Oracle, you get away with these kinds of things.
It's true. She appears before them as a withered crone, commanding them to lay down their weapons and approach. As she begins casting her spells, she rapidly changes into a beautiful young woman before their very eyes.
Huh.
Which is reminiscent of the Norns.
I was gonna say, this isn't a Norn situation, is it?
I think it's derived from the Norns.
But it's not.
But the comics are weird about the Norns sometimes.
Fair.
Oldar knows what the Warriors 3 have come for, and she begins to unveil the origin of their mysterious green friend. We see Bruce Banner slaving away over his Gamma Bomb project, against the warnings of his lab assistant, who's named Igor, apparently.
Okay.
Feels a little bit on the nose.
Okay, Dr. Frankenstein.
We see the testing site set up in the desert where Dr. Banner awaits the fruit of his labors, when suddenly, through his binoculars, he spies a young man driving his convertible through the testing zone. We find out later that this kid is none other than Rick Jones, though I don't think we ever find out how he got in here. There has to be some kind of perimeter set up, surely.
I have to imagine in the decades of Hulk, they've covered everything about Rick Jones at this point.
Well, probably, but not in this comic.
We don't know about it.
We don't know. Whatever the case, Bruce freaks out and tells Igor to delay the detonation while he gets that kid out of there. Igor's like, yeah, sure, boss, no problem. But secretly, he decides he's not going to do that because he's tired of being a lab assistant, I guess.
Oh, I thought that he was a Russian spy.
No, he thinks that if Banner dies, he will get more attention for his work. And I don't think science works like that.
No.
But okay.
It's not how anything works, frankly.
I'm not sure I like how Rick Jones talks.
It's fine.
Cool it, Daddy. It ain't like they were blowing the big one or something.
It actually is! That's exactly what they're doing!
Cool it, Daddy-o.
Our good doctor drives out and grabs the kid, throwing him down into the shelter area just before Igor presses the big red button. Oldar is still rhyming this entire time, by the way. Rather than dying in the explosion, Bruce somehow absorbs the deadly gamma radiation. Sometime later, he's back in the facility being checked out by a doctor, while Rick looks on with concern. This complete stranger saved his life, almost dying in the process. He questions why Bruce would do something like that, and he begins to answer before suddenly the initial change takes over. Thus, the Hulk was born for the first time, knocking Rick out of the way before running off to prove that he's strongest there is. Oldar continues to explain how, though Hulk's lust for violence would fade, he would never be left in peace and would be forced to continuously battle the people of Earth. She talks about how he would change from Bruce Banner to the Hulk and back again, how tormented he has become by this fate, and how he sought to end it by various means. She goes over all the various enemies he has bested, each stronger than the last, and ends with an ominous message that this creature of power incarnate now stands to threaten Asgard itself. Fandral is confused.
He fell down a hole.
Exactly. They saw him fall into a crack and die.
He's gone. He's never gonna threaten Asgard.
And he pleads with the Oracle for more information. She refuses to explain this further, saying it's for them to figure out. Unlike most phone psychics, she actually tells you when your free 10 minutes are over, so you can hang up without getting the huge bill. In a tunnel somewhere below the ground, Bruce Banner awakens as a prisoner of the Enchantress and the Executioner. Amora demands he tell her what he knows about Hercules, to which he says, "There are millions of men on Earth. I don't know all of them." Fair fucking point. But without that information, Brucey Boy serves no purpose, and Scourge moves to dispatch this little distraction so they can get back to taking over Asgard.
This is a mistake.
I like this, though. The Executioner's like, look, he's fucking useless. And Amora's like, fine, will you kill him? And he's like, yeah!
That's what he does.
Do my thing.
Bruce is pretty dazed and freaked out by this whole affair. He has no idea where he is or how he got here, much less who these weirdos are and why they're asking him about a Greek god that he's never met. And now to top it all off, they're going to kill him for not knowing what they're talking about. Before Scourge can bring down his axe, the stress takes hold and causes Dr. Banner to change back into the Hulk.
I'm shocked.
Right? The Executioner recognizes the Hulk instantly because they fought in a previous issue. Looks like Tales to Astonish number 77, apparently. Hulk beat him before, and as an Asgardian warrior, he can't just let it end there.
It's gonna end there.
It's time for Executioner versus Hulk round 2, which sounds like the perfect matchup for our second episode of Hulkamania.
It does indeed.
Brother.
They start going at it, but the Executioner has more than brute strength on his side, and he likes to play dirty. He uses some kind of mystical power in his axe to drain the Hulk's strength. But Hulk thinks fast and slams the ground so hard, that's his main move. Slams the ground so hard that Scourge is knocked off his feet and loses grip on his weapon. At this point, Amora has seen quite enough of this chicanery, and calls in the Troll Legion that they have, apparently.
They have a Troll Legion.
They rush forward to attack the green monster, but Hulk throws the Executioner at them, effectively eliminating the threat. Then he bashes the wall to cause a cave-in to cover his retreat.
Amazing.
The Enchantress uses her magical power to save herself and the Executioner from falling debris, and quickly reminds him that this isn't important because we are supposed to be invading Asgard literally right now.
No, they have to fight Hulk. It's more important.
Scourge is like, fine, but after that, I'm going to fight the green guy again.
Mm-hmm.
They begin to rally their troll legions, even as the Warriors 3, now forewarned of impending attack, make their return to the Golden City. Speaking of the city, everything is going great there. The sun is shining, and everyone is having a great time, completely unaware that somewhere under their feet, the Hulk is smashing his way through a system of tunnels. More perplexed than ever before.
Is he smashing his way through a system of tunnels, or is he creating a system of tunnels?
Could be either, honestly. He has no idea where he's going, and no idea how to get out of here. So he decides to go back the way he came, and if the enemies he left behind are still there, he will simply smash them.
That's Hulk. Hulk smash.
He returns to the chamber where the troll army was, to find it empty. He assumes that everyone ran away, but then looks up to see them scaling the side of the crevasse. Hulk thinks this is a great opportunity, and that if he follows, he might be led back to the surface. He leaps up toward the rock wall, but fumbles his hold and starts to fall, before grabbing onto a ledge. Now to begin his grueling climb back to the top.
Oh, so fall into space.
Yes.
Oh my god, Odin has a new hat. They
Of
did
course.
it. They kept it
Of
going.
course. That's how it works. At that moment, the trolls have completed their ascent and are streaming forward toward Asgard itself. Luckily, the Warriors 3 arrived in time to tell Odin of what they had learned, and the call to arms is sounded. Amora stands above the city, prepared to work her magics to the advantage of the invading trolls. Hulk arrives at the top of the chasm, finally free. He hears the sounds of battle nearby and wonders if his new friends who tried to help him before are in trouble. He sets off toward the ruckus and finds that, yes, the Asgardians are very much in trouble. Due to the Enchantress's spell, the legions of Asgard are having their strength sapped and are finding it impossible to even raise their weapons.
Oof.
I love that the Hulk has just decided, yeah, I like these guys.
Yeah, they were nice.
Yeah.
Hulk will beat puny under-earth creatures who attack Hulk friends. He leaps toward the troll army, cracking the very ground beneath their feet. Several of the trolls begin to flee as the earth churns from Hulk's mighty blows. Hulk climbs into the crack that he made and begins forcing it apart so it will swallow up the trolls back to whence they came.
Hulk, don't break Asgard!
His efforts haven't gone unnoticed, as Odin uses his magical scepter to assist the Hulk in this endeavor.
In his third hat!
In his third hat.
It's an assist. He doesn't even do it. He's just helping out.
With the trolls falling into the newly made pit, Greenie returns to the top to start throwing boulders on top of them, blocking their way out.
Underground men must never forget Hulk. They must remember no one can beat him.
Angered by failure, we've seen this last issue, Amora lashes out with a spell to kill the Hulk, striking him down before the eyes of the approaching Fandral. As the green giant falls to the ground before them, Odin approaches. None who would raise his hands in the defense of Asgard shall meet such an ignoble end. The All-Father raises his scepter, and the Hulk springs back to life. Though seemingly before Odin actually did anything.
Okay, so one panel, he's hit with a death beam. Then he's dead. And then he's hit with a life beam by Odin. And then he's alive. That's 4 panels. He died and came back.
I was okay anyway. Why are you pointing this at me?
He sees the Warriors 3 standing around him, as well as this stranger who is seemingly pointing a weapon at him.
Oh no.
He reacts badly to this, as you might expect, yelling at Odin and saying that the Asgardians are not his friends after all.
You threaten Hulk?
Well, Odin, I'm sure you'll be shocked to hear, doesn't much like being yelled at and told what to do.
No.
He starts to yell back when Fandral jumps between them, pleading mercy for his big green friend. He tries to explain to Odin that the Hulk was affected by magic and doesn't know where he is or what he's doing, to which Odin calls him Baldur for some reason, while dismissing his pleas. Hogan tries to back up his bro, but Odin isn't hearing any of it and decides that for his impudence, Hulk will be banished back whence he came, and we don't know exactly what happens after
but
that.
he won't kill Hulk.
No, he will not kill Hulk because Hulk did help defend Asgard.
But I guess talking back to Odin is worthy of death.
Oh yeah, obviously.
It's to be Hulkinued, so we don't get to know what happens there.
No, it's not important. We don't need to know.
What we do need to know is Captain America is dead forever.
So, the next thing we're going to read is Captain America number 113 from February of 1969. That's a jump.
Nice.
Quite a bit.
Written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jim Steranko, inked by Tom Palmer, and lettered by Artie Simek. We open on a reporter solemnly announcing the death of Captain America at the hands of assassins employed by Madam Hydra.
The strange death of Captain America.
Which all sounds right, as we all know Captain America famously died in 1968 in a climactic battle and was never seen again. Apparently his body fell into the Hudson River, and they have yet to recover it, though they have dredged up his mask, his shirt, and a lifelike mask of his face. Which all seems normal and fine.
Uh-huh.
What? Okay, no, wait. I thought... So they know that this is... I thought Steve had a secret identity outside of being Captain America, and now they just know that this is Steve Rogers' face.
He might used to have, but then became public, but...
I thought it was long after this, is all I'm saying.
Well,
I didn't.
You'll see if we continue.
Okay.
The reporter asks the police commissioner what the Steve Rogers mask implies, to which the commissioner makes the logical assumption that the man who they knew as Captain America was never Steve Rogers in the first place, only wearing a mask to impersonate him.
Excuse me?
Why?
That's the logical assumption to make, obviously.
I guess a guy coming out of the ice is a little unrealistic.
Really loving the art, though.
Somewhere in an extremely green room, Madam Hydra clicks off her TV and announces to the assembled personages that they have succeeded.
Very dynamic green room.
I mean, she has to be in a green room. She has to match.
Exactly. Regardless of his true identity, Captain America is super dead for realsies.
Mm-hmm.
Now Hydra can proceed with their master plan. But first, she orders one of her goons to bring her Cap's dossier so she can burn it.
Oh, good grief, the drama.
Are you sure you should burn that right now? You don't think you
Seems
might
like a bad
later?
plan.
We'll never need it again.
Never again. He's dead. As she does so, Madam Hydra reflects on what brought her here.
Hard in this thing.
Her childhood in war-torn Europe, the death of her parents, and her own disfigurement, leading to a troubled life, culminating in her becoming Supreme Hydra by killing all her superiors, as you do.
Well, yeah, that's how Hydra works.
Exactly. She then has a dramatic moment where she smashes her mirror because of her disfigured face, which, so far she looks pretty normal to me, but I'll take her word on it.
Fucked up. She has the curse of having green hair. And...
Yeah. At Avengers HQ, Rick Jones broods over a newspaper headlining Cap's death. He can't make himself believe that Cap is really gone, much less make sense of what actually happened.
Yeah, because Rick Jones has been hanging out with plenty of people, not just Hulk, because we saw him last time. He also hangs out with Cap.
Yes.
Yeah, Rick Jones kind of gets around.
He does. He knows that he needs to collect himself and tell the rest of the Avengers what happened. So Rick approaches the remaining Avengers, at this point consisting of the Vision, Black Panther, Iron Man, Hawkeye, and Thor. They comfort him as best they can, but they need to know what happened, and so Thor bids thee speak. But Rick just can't get the words out. Stricken by grief and shock, he turns away from the heroes. They all take it pretty well, understanding that this is a tough situation for him to be in, and that he will talk to them when he's ready.
Have they considered checking the newspaper instead of talking to Captain America's traumatized friend?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the news knows all of the details of what happened.
Why does Rick know all of the details?
Because he was there!
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's implied.
Not really.
I'm not seeing how.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Before he does anything, though, Rick asks the Avengers to contact Nick Fury. The Avengers are like, oh yes, Nick Fury fought with Cap in the war, so it's only natural he should be involved in what's to come. Sometime later, the 5 remaining Avengers and Fury serve as pallbearers at a very poorly lit funeral.
Wow, we really are going for this, huh?
Also, there is a lady, I think Sharon Carter?
If only it were a dream. If only it weren't so brutally,
Looks
so
like
terribly
it could be
real.
Sharon.
I think it's Sharon Carter. I don't know. I'm not going to look. Fury stands before the casket to address the collected mourners.
Oh, they never found his body.
In his eulogy, Nick says that apparently there's a dummy in the casket because they still never found Cap's body. Seems to me you could have just left it empty, but okay. His speech is honestly kind of shitty, but it's brief, and...
I mean, he's Nick Fury.
Oh my god, they did just dress up a dummy in Cap's clothes. That is so fucking funny.
What the fuck?
Bullet holes and all!
Yep.
That's so fucked up.
Why?
Imagine you come to your friend's funeral, and even minus the body, they're still wearing the clothes with the fucking
that
bullet
they got
holes
shot
in them.
There's a dummy in the
Left
coffin.
the blood there.
There's a dummy in the coffin with the clothes he was wearing.
The dummy isn't even important here, just the fucking clothing.
Rick Jones is not in attendance currently, still holed up back at Avengers Mansion, unable to overcome his grief.
Well, or maybe he knew how Nick Fury was going to, I don't know, treat Captain America.
He tells himself that he needs to go and say his final goodbyes, no matter how much it may hurt. It seems that mere words will not suffice to capture the sense of loss in the room. As Nick and the rest of the Avengers stand around the coffin, staring at the morbid facsimile of their friend. Suddenly, Nick notices something in the coffin, some kind of card or something, and reaches toward it. But as soon as he touches it, the room fills with gas that knocks them all out. It seems that all the other guests at this funeral were secretly Hydra goons, as they all take off their clothes to reveal the iconic green onesies while talking about how good the gas worked. Madame Hydra also appears to command the beginning of Phase 2 of her master plan.
Hey, didn't the Avengers get knocked out?
Yeah, that's the point.
In one of the other times we saw them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey Avengers, stop getting knocked out. So easily? This is weird.
The goons load the unconscious Avengers and Fury into coffins that they just had nearby.
How did the gas work on the
They were at a funeral home.
Yeah.
How did the gas work on the Robot Man?
Great question!
I thought about it, but I wasn't going to question it.
I mean, okay, let's see. 2 of them are probably have some kind of...
No, Tony's got holes.
Oh god,
yeah, he has
Tony's
holes.
suit sucks.
There's actually a specific point in Iron Man comics where he starts putting plexiglass in the holes.
Really?
Early on, they're
There's
just
also a
holes.
point where he's wearing an old suit and he starts drowning because
Yes.
the
There are
holes
just
are there.
holes.
Okay, I'll buy that Tony's just knocked out by the guy. But the Vision is a robot.
No, there's no excuse for Vision. He's just pretending he didn't want to feel left out.
And as we establish very, very in the very far future, Nick Fury is probably an LMD.
No, Nick Fury is definitely an LMD.
Very possible.
You don't think he would come in person to Cap's funeral?
No, I
when
don't
Cap
actually.
is super, super dead?
After Cap just got killed?
Yeah.
No, in fact, if anything, Fury'd be the guy who did it.
Nah.
No.
Not Cap.
Nah. Outside, Rick finally arrives to find the whole place locked and shuttered. He finds this alarming, since the Avengers were supposed to be here all night, and then he notices the Hydra goons loading coffins into a line of hearses.
All night?
They're supposed to be there all night.
That's weird.
Quietly, he creeps up and is able to hop onto the back of the last car just before it speeds away.
This car is way too old for this period of time.
Why is this car built in the 30s?
For the aesthetic. As the caravan approaches the graveyard, Rick hops down next to the gate and takes cover. He decides now is the time to act, because the Avengers could be in those coffins, and God knows what Hydra plans to do with them.
I can guess.
Unfortunately for him, he was spotted, as a goon comes up behind with a gun to his head. Suddenly, the scene is shattered by a nerve-searing roar of defiance, as a dozen Hydra killers whirl about to see a high-powered motorcycle leaping from the crest of a hill.
Excellent.
And as the thunderous machine splays the marble and granite of battered tombstones in its path, a sinewy red, white, and blue thunderbolt on a mission of vengeance smashes into their midst. Captain America lives!
Hey, Cap, those are people's headstones. You're destroying people's headstones. It's very rude. This is a regular cemetery. That's very rude.
He's got to get him some Nazi
I do
scalps.
really like the art in this issue.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. It's
very atmospheric.
This is a gorgeous issue.
It is really pretty.
Although I think there's something wrong with Cap's head.
The inking, between the inking and the coloring, this is a gorgeous issue.
Cap is here, and he's ready to beat some ass.
Hell yeah!
He cries out to Rick to get a move on, and though he's shocked by this development, Jones has enough wherewithal to sock the goon before he can get a shot off.
Hell yeah.
Madame Hydra orders her goons into action, and, I I can't describe this page. Would you guys attempt?
He's gone Doomslayer on them.
The Star Wars original poster, if Rick Jones was there instead of Princess Leia, but less sluttily, and instead of a lightsaber overhead, Luke was carrying a limp Hydra goon.
No, let's not forget, he's practically doing the splits.
Also, all of these people are bearing guns.
Yes, of course.
This is incredible.
That's my description. That's what I got for you. We even got the Death Star back there.
I don't know. I'm getting a bit of figure skating vibe from this. Yeah.
A little bit of dirty dancing.
Well, his back is arched, and his legs are... He's pointing his feet.
Now I have the time of my life.
I don't think the guy above him is having time of his life. I think he's about to get either thrown or broken half.
And I owe it all to you.
Cap orders Rick to pick up one of the fallen goon's pistols, which he does quickly. Cap then runs toward him, luring the remaining Hydra soldiers toward his fallen motorcycle, which he says is filled with a special explosive fuel.
That sounds like a bad plan.
So when Jones fires at the gas tank, it explodes and takes out the goons in one fell blow.
And boom!
There's no one left, but yeah, Cap doesn't kill people, by the way.
No, Rick Jones just killed people.
That's true. There's no one left but Madam Hydra now.
Ooh.
But Cap is more concerned with rescuing his friends first. As they assess the situation, they're taking the Avengers out of, like, the fucking empty graves that Hydra was trying to put them in. So they're dealing with that, and Rick spies Madam Hydra up to something near a crypt.
With Willy Wonka's grenade launcher, what the hell?
Okay, but, like, why is he saying it's most important to get my friends free? Because, like, they're just laying there, they're fine.
Yeah.
Go get Madam Hydra, there's no one else threatening them, just let them rest.
Well, she's leaning against a tree, dramatically talking about how she failed and has to die now. But then she pulls a missile launcher from somewhere and fires it at them.
Yeah, Willy Wonka's missile launcher.
FPS space.
They're heat-seeking missiles, guided by body heat. Cap pulls Rick down into an open grave, allowing the missiles to fly overhead and back toward the crypt, and Madam Hydra. She attempts to flee, but it's too late, as both she and the crypt go up in flames.
Oh, I like that.
That's beautiful,
It's a
but
beautiful
that's
page.
someone's regular crypt.
So I want you guys to think about how beautiful this comic has been up to this point, and go to the next page.
Oh.
Whoa!
Having won the battle, Rick is now free to ask Steve what the fuck that was all about. According to Captain Rogers, when Rick was captured by Hydra, it made him realize how vulnerable they both were, because everyone knew that he was Steve Rogers, and the only way to solve that problem was to make the world believe that this was not the case, and Steve was dead.
Oh my god, Steve.
The Cap who got shot was apparently an inflatable dummy, wearing his costume and a lifelike mask, and because of this, Captain America once more has a secret identity. This plan is foolproof. Steve Rogers is a mastermind.
Alright, what's the new identity, huh? Are you gonna go by a different identity, or are you just gonna be...
Captain America full-time, I guess, but we don't know who he is.
Here I am, Grief Flodgers.
Grief Lodgers.
So yeah, this page is,
A lot?
it doesn't...
What are those poses?
Cap's getting a little loose with the hips.
The rest of the comic was so pretty, and then this page is like...
Oh, well, the cemetery part is nice.
Okay, it's mostly just these two idiots.
Yeah.
Leaping at the camera.
2/3 of the page is really stupid.
And
the
honestly,
remaining third is okay.
And honestly, I can kind of understand what... I just forgot his name.
Rick.
Yeah, what Rick's doing. But what is Steve
I have
doing?
no idea what Steve's pose is all about.
I don't know. So, what did you guys think of Hulk and Asgard?
Seemed very brief, too brief. I would have liked to have seen more go on. I know that this is at least partially because Tales to Astonish was a half-and-half book, so we were robbed of some of the time we could have used to develop that, but it felt like it was wrapped up too quickly. Nonetheless, I really liked the appearances by most of the characters. These are Marie Severin's art was excellent, and I loved her Fandral. He looks like a person.
He does.
Yeah, which at this point is saying something.
So let's go 3 out of 5 because the story was lacking, but everything else was really excellent.
It was pretty good. It could have used more, but yeah.
Yes.
It's from that, yeah, as Ripley said, it's from that cursed era of the half and half books.
Yep.
I agree. I would give it a 3.
Yeah. 3 works.
It had issues, but it wasn't bad. What would you guys say about this issue of Captain America that we read because I had to round out the episode?
There was a lot of stupid just happened. But it was very prettily done stupid, so I'm mostly willing to forgive it.
Yes, most of it was very pretty.
If you ignore the writing, it was a great book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until the last page.
3 out of 5 because the writing did happen, unfortunately. But Jim Steranko's art was beautiful.
I mean, I'm willing to give it a 4 just for the pretty art.
Man, it was really nice. I felt like all of a sudden we were leaping back into the future.
Yes.
Like, whoa!
Yes, this did not feel like a book of its era.
Yes.
Like, not even with some of the stuff from the the end of the 60s, this didn't feel like it.
Everything else was really stupid.
Oh yeah. Everything else was dumb. Very dumb. And apparently the Avengers haven't learned anything because in the future they'll get knocked out again.
Oh, yes.
And now we can only assume that Vision just wanted to know what it's like to be. He's not in any danger, so I'm going to be knocked out with everyone else.
He's got a case of fainting envy, and then he just stayed put.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait.
I mean, to be fair, he could phase himself back out of the ground at any time.
Yeah, he was never in any danger by any of this. None of the humans involved could threaten him. So, yeah.
3 out of 5.
So the writing really is dumb.
What about you?
2 out of 5.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm willing to give it a 4 just because how good it looks.
Yeah.
Like
it was really stupid, though.
You guys didn't have to read it as much as I did.
Purely on how good it looked, I'm willing to give it a higher score.
Alright.
Because I can put up with a lot of dumb if it's pretty.
You know, I agree, and I get you there.
Alright, well, that's all I got for this episode 69.
Nice.
Episode 69 had really nice art all around.
Yeah. Should we not get used to really good art?
It comes and goes.
Never get used to really good art.
Yeah.
There's always another run, and then Humberto Ramos is there.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's a controversial take.
Yeah, I'm aware. I don't like his stylization.
Oh, no.
I think it looks bad.
Everybody
out here looking like they got fucking character artists drawn down at the boardwalk, and then these people were set loose on the fucking Marvel universe.
I think it's okay sometimes, but in other places it's bad.
I had to read like 10 years of Dan Slott and Humberto Ramos, motherfucker!
I know.
We're sorry. We're so sorry.
That might be causing some negative associations with the Dan Slotness of it.
Yeah.
Diddly-doo it may.
It might not even be the artist's
Oh no,
fault
I
here.
hate the art.
So yeah, don't get used to good art. Don't even expect good art. That way when it happens, you'll be excited.
Appreciate it when it comes. Anyway, it sounds like that's going to be wrapping it up for us. If you don't enjoy my takes on Humberto Ramos and want to tell me why he's a master artist, shoot us an email over at comicsplaining@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on our social media. We are over at Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook, Comicsplaining in all of those locations. If you'd like to see a video version of the podcast and see some of this gorgeous art we're talking about, we have a video version of the show that we put out every week over on YouTube, where you get to see clips of what we are talking about. If you'd like to support the show, we have a Patreon. Patrons get early access to the show, higher tiers, higher rewards. We also have a coffee we can donate to if you'd like to. But the best support we can ask for is that you just keep listening. Rate and review us if you could. We'd appreciate that. Recommend us to your friends, but otherwise just keep listening. We appreciate the listens. Go ahead and join us over at our Discord, where we talk about comics and this and that and the other thing. A shout out to our one fine, great, and awesome patron, Robin. And beyond that, we're going to be back with you next week with the beginning of something all new. And we look forward to talking to you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.